start. We are back. How we doing, everybody? I'm really excited. Pain God's got a story for me here.
One that's probably near and dear to Mintos's heart.
Okay.
So last night around dusk, I mowed the lawn, and it's all perfectly cut. I was over every square inch of it. Get up in the morning, go out with the dog, and there's a big section of grass missing, and what looks like a bird's nest in there. And I'm like,
no.
What the heck happened? That grass was there. And so I went over and I was like nudging the bird's nest thing with my foot, and something moved underneath there, which freaked me out. I'm not from the Midwest. I don't know Midwest animals. So I go get my wife, and I'm like, you have to come see this. I don't know what it is. And she walks back there and looks at it. She goes, oh, a bunny laid babies in the yard.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a weird bug or something.
No, evidently they dig holes in the middle of big open spaces because it's less likely for predators to come out in the middle.
Oh,
and then they give birth to their babies, and then they cover it with like fur and dead grass and stuff like that.
Buns. I love the buns. I thought you were going to say it was like some weird Midwestern exotic spider thing and we needed to kill it with fire.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, flamethrower now. So, I have a dog that has gotten bunnies before, and so had to find materials and hastily make a fence that Mama Bunny can get through, but the dog can't.
Oh, that's nice.
So
that's cheered me up so far. That's a nice story. Gotta look out for the buns. They're everywhere where I live. You can, when you sit outside on a nice summer day, they're all running around together playing. There's hundreds of them around here. It's crazy.
Yeah, we even hung some little motion lights on the fence that we erected. So if Mama Bunny comes in the night or whatever, they'll start moving. We can see out the window that the motion light's on before we let the dog out.
Oh, what do you what interesting animals do you guys have in the chat where you live? I know there's in the Midwest you get things. I saw a possum once. That was interesting. But back where I used to live in the UK, you'd see foxes and all sorts of stuff. So let me know in the chat what you guys see, the local wildlife where you guys live. Cool. So hope you all had a lovely week this week. I've had a pretty busy week this week. Gathering together your feedbacks, worked on a couple of reports this week for you guys, one on the Italian Heavies, and I'll be doing one for the end of the week for you guys. So expect that real soon, Pain God. With regards to the Italian Heavies, how are they looking statistically? Sorry, we got that on our list here to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot going on this week. Tuesday, a whole bunch of stuff came out. The Italian heavy line, somewhat controversial because of the auto reload function. Lots of requests to speed up the reload time. But the tanks are really meant to be played differently. In the right hands, you can be very, very successful with them. So I did a search. It's only 2 days of data, so you realize we usually need like 4 weeks of data for the stats to settle, because the first players getting to this are probably some of our most experienced players. Getting to these tanks, they have free XP. They've already been up far enough up the line, right? So you got to get a bigger section of players. But right now, the tier 7, what is that, Caro di Assalto?
It's always funny when I say something in Italian, it just sounds hilarious because of my Manchester accent. Caro di Assalto.
So far, about 8,600 players have played it. Its win rate is sitting at 50.76%, so that's right on the line. That's good. That's number 3 out of all tier 7 heavies. Its average damage right now is 1,139, which is number 1 out of all tier 7 heavies, not including premiums. We're just comparing to tech trees. The tier 8 Progetto 65 is owned by 1,235 players. Its win rate right now is at 53.36, which is number 1 out of all the tier 8 heavies. Its average damage is 1,519, which is also number 1 out of all the tier 8 heavies.
That's a big drop there from tier 7 to 8, isn't it? We're talking about a real small amount of players there, from 8,599 to 1,235. That's quite a small sample size, like you said.
Yeah, and it just takes, these are the people it takes time to to grind it. I think at the end of the first day I looked, and the tier 10, there was 234 people who had it. Which obviously they didn't grind that line in the whole day. They had free XP built up in order to get it. Okay, the tier 9 Progetto C50 Mod 66 is owned by 454 players. Its win rate is even better at 54.75% right now, which is number 1 out of all the tier 9 heavies. And its average damage is 1,884, which is also number 1 out of the tier 9 heavies.
Interesting.
And then we get to the tier 10. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the Rhino one.
Rinoceronte. I'm sorry, Italians.
That's only been played by 282 players so far. And its win rate is similar to the others, 53.66. That makes it number 3 out of the 20 tier 10 heavies there are. And its average damage is 2,405, which makes it number 1 for damage out of the tier 10 heavies. So they can perform. I think it's just a different way to play, a different way to space out your shots, when to save them, when to use them, the timing. It's what makes the Italian line, even the mediums, right, unique in the game.
Yeah, it's interesting, actually, like you said, because it's only a few days worth of data, and probably some of our most experienced and some of our best players will be playing these right now as well. So I shall keep an eye on the feedback for you guys. But yeah, thank you very much for grabbing all those statistics for us to talk about. I'll make sure to add them to the recap notes for you guys to have a read over afterwards.
And then we had the K91 Line Rebalance. Lots of great comments on that. Again, only a couple days of data so far. The daily battles before the change was about 422. After the change is about 1,400. The win rate before the change was 48.86%. After the change, the win rate is now 51.94 and climbing. Survival rate before the change was 28.41%. Now after the change is 31.9%, so it's living out on the battlefield for longer. And its average damage dealt went from 1,817 before now to 2,212. That's
very cool. It's good to see. That's something definitely that I had a lot of good feedback on from the community. Is balance is back, baby.
Yeah, and again, for players that didn't have that, they're grinding their way up that line right now. So those numbers will fluctuate, for a few weeks until we get a big enough sample of people playing. But so far, it looks like they were successful changes. The T22 medium, same number of days. So daily battles previously was 111. Now it's a popular tank. Now it's about 350. Its win rate, it was 48.94%. It's now 54.43%.
That's a big jump, that.
Survival went from 25.38 to 31.41. And damage dealt went from 1,597 before to 2,299 now. So
that's
you're right,
great.
1,600 to 2,300. So that's a pretty big bump.
So both of them, on average, getting over 2,000 damage now. That's really good to see. What do you guys think in the chat? Are you enjoying the balances, the K91 T22 medium? Let me know what you think. And as always, hit me up on Discord or wherever you talk to me. Let me know what you want to see next with balances.
I think I talked about these last week, but I'll just cover a couple of them. Quality of life changes that went out Tuesday is we halved the multi-base assault frequency. It's now only 5% chance to happen in random battles. Like I told you, we still need enough people, playing it to get data, to get those maps balanced. We did, based on the data we already have, rebalance Mountain Pass, Kasserine, Pilsen, and Highway for NBA after looking at the heat maps and the data and the win rates. And we'll keep looking at it. Thanks for helping us out there. The commander filter now has both nation affiliations to, filters to support cross mode transfers. So if you have a commander on a World War II tank, but you're in Cold War, you can transfer him over without taking him off in World War II to put him in a pool. And fixed a bug where the filters weren't saving when you exited the commander tab. We undid our fix for the select tank option when you're a spectator in custom games that we didn't realize people were using for competitive fog of war, not to be able to see the tank changes. So we fixed that, but we have an improvement ticket to make that an actual option, like hide tank selection, and like only the room organizer will be able to see the tank selection.
Cool.
Gifting now shows properly in the log, so people know when you gave them a gift, which is usually nice, so they can say thank you.
Nice. I always like surprising people before, and then I'd go to their Twitter and be like, "Oh, I wonder who they think's giving them this," and I'm just like in the background, "Hee, you'll never know." A surprise gift from Minto.
So my helper, Lady Obscura, says people asked if we'll buff the green team next. There's a handful of other fixes there in the notes. Also Tuesday, we enabled Tank Commander PvP, so you can play as a tanker against tank commanders and show them that you're better than God mode. You can earn the Thunderbolt for free by playing it. We saw, since the release on Tuesday, we've seen the highest daily play time for this entire year.
That's
so
impressive.
People are really enjoying the content and playing and checking it out.
Why do you think that is, from your perspective?
Just a lot of new things to play and check out. New lines are always popular. The rebalance, people are very, very curious and want to play those and see. Getting free tanks is always popular. So, and we know from data in the past in the events is more players want to play Tank Commander as a tanker, right? Because they like the challenge of trying to, fight someone that is controlling AI and has a bigger awareness of the battlefield to show that they're a good tanker, right? And it makes sense, right? We're a tanker game, so a lot of people jumping in that to earn the tank and have fun and beat up on tank commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the Tankathon challenge that started to, so you guys can earn extra silver and consumables for all those battles that you're playing.
We know players love silver. Cool.
A busy week, but a really good week.
There's a lot going on this week, definitely, yeah. And it looks like there's quite a few things coming next week as well from this list that we've got here.
Yeah, next week, I think they made sure that we didn't let the cat out of the bag and leak the information in here by putting the article up for the Cold War light line that's coming out.
Beat us to it. Beat us to the punch.
They're like, we'll show them. They're not leaking information early anymore. We're just going to post it.
But we will be playing them on Monday, so we will win eventually.
So yeah, now we had the 4 weeks ago the Eastern light tank line with missiles. Now the Western Alliance Cold War light tank line comes with missiles. Is supported by the light tank boot camp challenge, which I don't know what that is, to be honest. It's in Lady Obscura's notes. Remember to elite your M46A1 and your M60A1 because those line leads to all the U.S. Cold War light tanks, right? Those are the gateways to it.
Tips.
I'm not going to go into stats or anything, but a whole bunch of really, really interesting tanks. So we have the M8 AGS that I think we have a really nice render for you that Tanksar can show you. The Stingray 2, the M55-1 Sheridan, the T92, and then names people really, really recognize: M41 Walter Bulldog, the M24 Chaffee, the M3A2 Bradley. You see a Bradley behind me?
That's gorgeous, that artwork. We do have a very, very strong artwork, and I always get players asking if they can have these images that we have. I think you can find a lot of them in the fan kit, if you guys want to check that out. I think that's been updated recently.
This was actually one of the original concept pieces for Desfall, the map.
You recognize the bridge in the town, yeah.
And then the last two, the M60A2 Patton, one of my favorites, and the M113. So
beautiful stuff. For those of you who love your Cold War, you're gonna have a lot more content to consume next week. So just remember, like PAINGOD said, your M46A1 and M60A1, something to work on over the weekend. Get those eleted up and ready for your US lights that are going to be coming on Tuesday. Cool. Iggy, one of our new community super testers and Facebook maestro, says PAINGOD tips Fedora for the PAINGOD tips. All right.
So that's Tuesday. Things. I went looking through my meeting, my calendar, because it was a busy week. I'm like, what did we work on this week? So meetings, design, implementation stuff of things that we've talked about. Just they're in progress. The contract system coming back, and we're expanding it to be able to be used for tanks of any nations, not just mercenary tanks. Lots of discussions today. I've told you that we're working on multi-turret discussions this week on exactly how to map the controls for that, because as you know, every button on the controller is already used. And do we cycle through up to 6 types of ammo across 2 barrels? That seems kind of cumbersome. If we were a PC game keyboard that just you map some more keys to it, right? But trying to figure out the best, all kinds of ideas, of course, but trying to figure out the best implementation for the controls. Tech tree improvements and how to make that all it can be continue. Hey, I saw something actually happened without me knowing. I saw the tech trees update on the portal.
That's gorgeous. Yeah, I saw that as well.
It's nice and clean. Like the tanks pop. The text is really, really easy to read. I even reached out to the guy that did it. I was like, fantastic job. I don't know if he wants me to say his name on air. I would, but he might be shy. But yeah, it looks great.
It does, yeah. And
then class-based matchmaking, doing some more experiments and discussions on that. When it's ready, we'll test it out with you all and let you know ahead of time, and see what you think. We're going through all kinds of different options. The big things are, platoons and artillery. Make it really difficult. So we're talking about which order and what weight we put to them. Then I just thought of something else I forgot to write down, and it just popped out of my head when I started talking about class-based matchmaking.
Goliath Games TV, thank you very much for the raid there, and you are hilarious, guys, with those MintoVimto emojis. That is absolutely hilarious. I don't know if you can see that, PAINGOD, but they've took a picture of my face and made it spin, and there's about like 1 million of them in the chat right now.
Oh, nice.
What you like?
Man, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I should have typed it down real quick. something else very, very cool that you'll all really, really love got worked on this week, and I got to see it and play with it. And now I can't remember what it was.
If you think about what it is after the stream, I'll be sure to put it in the recap notes because I want to know now as well. I'm curious.
It was just to the tip of my brain while I was talking, and by the time I finished talking, it went away. Lady Obscura sent me a screenshot of all the Mentos emojis. How horrifying.
You guys are brilliant. All right, cool. Shirish77, when we started off the stream, we went through the how the Italian heavies are performing. And so basically what I'll do is after the stream, I'll write this all up into a recap for you guys and post it onto the forums. It should be up not longer than an hour after the stream. I'll work on that straight away.
The short summary of it, though, is they're performing very well. They all have over a 50% win rate and are the highest damage dealers in their class for their tier.
The Rinoceronte has 2,405 average damage, but it's only from 282 players, to keep in mind. A lot of people are working through these the tech tree by the looks of it. Okay. Let's get through some questions now. I saw a bunch of really good questions from you guys, but with the nature of the chat and how crazy it is right now, you guys will just have to keep tagging me and I'll see if I can get through them. One of them that I remember is from Seb, who asked about, would there be a possibility of doing another loaded dice event in the future in World War II, possibly?
Sure. I don't see why not. The person that can make that happen is in this is in the chat with you all. That's Lady Obscura that runs all those things. So I'm sure she can make that happen for you.
Yes, let's do it, Lady Obscura. We'll see it in the chat. Bunch of folks enjoyed loaded dice, and it's something I do get in my messages actually. That loaded dice was great. We've got Blade Runner, who asks about medals and marks of excellence progress in Cold War. I believe there's marks of excellence progress, but medals, do you think we'll ever see medals in Cold War?
Yes, that is another meeting we had this week, and you just reminded me.
Yes,
I saw the fourth mark of excellence this week.
Okay.
For when you 100% it.
Okay.
But medals, yeah, there's we had a kickoff meeting about it. We have a Teams chat room discussing what the medals should be, what they should be named, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's well underway.
Very cool. I was in Goliath Games TV stream just before I came and did this stream actually, and all the people over there were talking about medals in World War II. In Cold War. So that is ironic that we were able to give you guys an answer on that today. So
yeah, if you have suggestions on cool medals for Cold War, send them in.
Yep. Send them in to me, guys. And over the weekend, hopefully I'll have lots of lovely messages about different Cold War medal ideas. And
let's have a destroyed Mintos's tank 1,000 times.
Let's do it.
Make you a target in every match you're in if you're not already.
I already am, but yeah, let's make it even worse. Why not? We have got some special emblems that we're able to give out soon. We should start doing that actually. We have the A up and A up emblems that we're able to do competitions for people in stream. So hopefully we'll be able to do that on Monday. We'll start giving away some of those exclusive MintoVimto inscriptions, I believe they are. Cool. All right.
I got one. Okay. Great Graham, can you add whole repair kits to World War II? So interestingly enough, we designed hole patch kits for World War II originally, and we presented the design, I know, to Super Test, but I think it actually I think we actually talked about them in the forums. And we got a resounding no, do not add these to the game. So we held on to them and added them to Cold War only. But now that people are out there and they played with them and got used to them, I know I jump back to play World War II and I go to some of my consumables. I'm like, huh? Or like I go to add equipment. And I'm like, hey, where's this? Oh, that's right. It's only in Cold War. I have no discrimination between the two modes, at all. I want everybody to have everything, but we want to keep the core of the World War II game for you guys. So it's something really up to the community if full patches go into World War II, because it would have to be an overwhelming, yes, we want this for us to do it, not like a 50-50 or 60-40 split, because it does fundamentally change the way that this game's been playing for 7 years, right?
Would you like me to make a poll on Discord for that and see what?
I'm sure someone's already making a poll at this moment, right?
I'm sure somebody is. There's always polls everywhere. Okay. Got a question passed on from Modern Callout. Thank you very much. A question from Merciless. Any news on more maps returning? And I did see a question on Discord earlier today, actually, and it was, I think, asking to confirm, can we expect 2 maps for every major update?
We're trying for a minimum of 3, and I think I've said that. We got 5 last time out of just some magical ability of artists, or the stars aligning. That reminds me too. I wonder how the feedback and is going on. I can't remember what used to be called Scorpion Pass.
Hellfire Pass.
Yeah, because I know people have been playing that and playing it in custom games. Is it in great shape? Throw it in random battles. No, get some fixes done. Let us play some more, and then put it in random battles. That one's in the reserve as kind of a community thing. I'll have to catch up with Brendan and see. I'm sure he's watching that. It's something I haven't been watching closely.
Yeah, that's something that Brogue One just asked, actually, is when can Hellfire Pass go into rotation? I've not seen a great deal about it in my messages and while I'm doing my research. Generally, that means it's doing good. You guys only let us know when something's not doing good.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 maps for the next big release.
Cool.
You want to know what they are?
Of course.
I'll tell you, Mintos, and you just keep it to yourself, okay?
Okay.
Since someone ruined our surprise today by putting an article up early, we'll leak the maps.
It's all my fault.
Dukla Pass.
Dukla Pass.
I don't ever know if I'm saying this up. Helbron?
Hell? What was that, sorry?
Helbron?
I don't know.
Here, I'll Skype it to you.
Hybron. Hybron?
I could be butchering it.
I'm not familiar with this one. This one must be before my time.
Me and my pronouns.
Hybron. Hebron? I don't know.
Redshire, which we played in yesterday's playtest, a whole bunch.
Redshire.
Redshire.
There you go.
See, I would say sure, expecting you to tell me no, it's Shire. So I said Shire, and of course I'm wrong. And Muravanka.
Muravanka. Cool. So 4 exclusive.
That's the plan. That's what's in my little roadmap over here. Plans don't always come out as you expect. Like this time, we got 2 extra maps.
Mm-hmm.
Could that 4 turn into 3 if we run out of time because there's bugs or needs a lot of rework or something? That could happen, but that's the plan. That's the target. That's the goal. That's what we're aiming for.
Excellent. Well, I hope the team's able to do those, and if they throw in any extra surprises, then great stuff.
There's one here that says surprise, and they won't even tell me, so I can't talk about it. I think it's an event mode map, is what I think it is.
Because we're getting close to that event season now. I can't believe
we are.
We're halfway through the year, pretty much. Crazy. All right.
Somebody, what is this? Ski 420 Bert. Will the Walker Bulldog have a 10-round auto loader like our old World War II one? And if not, when is that coming back, please? The Cold War one does not. About it coming back, I would have to do some research and get back to you guys. I don't know that one off the top of my head.
Okie dokie. A question from Airwolf Sniper with regards to the maps. I assume we'll find out closer to the date when they release whether they'll be for World War II or for Cold War.
That's part of what our playtest is. We play Tier 5, Tier 8, then post-war escalation and detente to see where it's going to fit best. All those are obviously, classic World War II maps. They'll all go into World War II for sure. Just where, if they can go in Cold War and what eras is what we're testing out right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that, some of the smaller maps when we play detente, the time to engagement is about 4 seconds. And it's like World of Tanks on speed, or World of Tanks done fast, right? Like the battles are so freaking quick, and it's kind of fun. I'm like, wow, we just got through 5 battles in under half an hour, right? Where our normal cadence for playtest is, if we're lucky because of switching tanks and stuff like that, is maybe 3.5 in half an hour. So it's like tanks done fast. Maybe we should do that as an event someday. But players, they're all in the custom games. A map rotation. So you guys can, if you can get big enough group, right, you can try it out yourself. We have talked about letting some of the smaller ones be in the higher eras, but limiting the number of players, to 10 versus 10 or 7 versus 7, to see if that makes those maps, more viable. But that would be a horrible torque on the matchmaker. Trying to add that in as another parameter, because matchmaker picks the players in the queue, then makes the teams, then map and game type last, right? So if it picked up a 14-player map, and then it would have to start its matchmaking thing all over again. So that looks like really, really hard. But we plan to play it and test it out. My gut from playing, because sometimes when we have daily play tests, but they're of different sizes. But there's one daily that's just the design team and a few other people. So those are frequently 7-on-7 or 10 matches, and I don't think it makes the maps all that more viable, because it's the speed and the distance that the tanks can shoot. You still have a engagement within 4 seconds, and the battles are still pretty damn short.
Interesting. I just saw in the chat, it just distracted me and made me laugh at the same time. I think it was Carnave said, "Can we have the Christmas map in Cold War?"
That hurts my brain.
Imagine that. That'd be awful. Oh dear.
We'll have to write that down for a holiday event suggestion.
Dear. Oh, it'd be so funny.
We do have there's a from you all, and internally we have a whole page, or whole doc page that is the wish list for custom games. Things to add, and we're working. Someone's working their way through it on the easier, low risk options right now. But we do have in there in the wish list is to be able to enable an event mode in a map in custom games.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So if you never got to see Lunar, or
I never saw tugboats, so
or what?
Tugboats.
Yeah, the tugboats. If you just want to be like, hey guys, let's have fun and just go do this, for a day. So
that'd be cool.
That's in the wish list of things.
That'd be really cool. I'd be definitely up for that. Interested to see, when we see that. Very cool. All right. We're running out of time now, so we haven't got too much time for extra questions. I didn't see Lady Obscura. I didn't see the trench warfare one either, or any of the like First World War stuff. That was before my time. I didn't even see Goliath. I didn't see was there a mech one as well, like a mech, like a kind of like a mech assault one as well. Special.
Oh yeah.
I missed all of them. Core Breach, that's it. Bro One says. Cool. All right, I don't have any extra questions here.
I got someone asking about double barrel tanks. Those are, so I think I mentioned this, but in order, we're doing multi-turret first, wheeled vehicles next, double barrel after that. So you're looking at double barrel probably next year.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the year now.
Yeah, holy crap, it's almost August.
No, I know. It's nearly my brother's birthday, so happy birthday, bro. Enjoy your records. I got one last question from Gambit. It's kind of a little bit of a, might be slightly complicated. Might not be able to answer it today, but I thought it was an interesting question. So going back to 6.0, we moved onto a new engine, I believe. What was the thought process behind kind of selecting the perfect time to move to another engine, and kind of what are the sort of things that you have to kind of like consider when making a big update like that, switching from one engine to another engine?
It wasn't actually switching to a different engine. It was an upgraded, modified version of the older engine that was being worked on in development terms in a separate branch. And the reason for that timing is we finally dropped support for Xbox 360, which was the most underpowered console that was holding us doing all kinds of things for the other consoles back. So it was in preparation for PS5 and Xbox One X, and ending support for 360 allowed us to do that, that big upgrade. Now, some of the things that were lost in that upgrade is because that version of the engine was being done in a different branch, and we had to bring all the content over into there, but this didn't get everything in time for 6.0 in this most basic way that I can explain it.
Okay. Thank you very much. So yeah, it must have been quite kind of an easy decision in some aspects, in that you're future-proofing the game. Something was holding it back, but at the same time, it's when is the perfect time? Is there ever really a perfect time? It's a big decision to make.
Hey, I could say if I go back to time when I approached it a little bit differently from a technical standpoint, probably, but I don't really live with woulda, coulda, shouldas. We made our bed, we lied in it, we're making it back, and fixing and adding things as fast as we can.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I got a question passed to me. Is it possible to let players suggest and vote for the next season? Yeah, I don't see why not. Just so you know the way it works, though, it wouldn't be the next. It'd be a few seasons away, because it takes quite a bit to design those, plan those, then make all the content for it. So like, we know exactly the next 4 seasons, and work on those in various areas is all underway. So if we did like a community, hey, what kind of season would you like? It would end up being sometime next year, but I think that's a fantastic idea. I have nothing against it. Just realize if you're making suggestions, stay away from other people's IPs, because licensing stuff is just takes forever, is very,
Takes a
very
long time,
expensive.
yeah.
Many IPs say no, they don't want to be licensed, or they want to say, oh, sure, you can use our content, but you have to, pay us $5 million. And so, in the suggestions, stay away from the license stuff, which I honestly think we won't do as much as we've seen in the past, right? Going forward. Or if we do, it's going to be much more grounded, in an IP that is close to tanks, right? So you think of, G.I. Joe, it tanks in it, and it's military, right? So I think that one was a pretty good match. So we're looking for more things that like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we heard loud and clear from the players. I'd say from my perspective is yes, we like seasons, but yes, we would prefer it when it makes when it fits with the game, or it's something like Valor. I know how much you guys love the Valor season. That's like this perfect season to a lot of you guys. And I'm glad I got to see that season. It was really cool. And Valor's one of my favorite tanks in the game.
I can tell you the next few seasons, the next 3 or 4 that are planned are all very much tied into the game, into history, into the content. They're not licensed.
Very cool. I think I got one last question here. It just came up from Darth Baker. Any news on +1 -1?
I approve the use of it to the planning team for weekends.
Oh.
So that I would imagine that's probably already scheduled, not announced yet. But yeah, after we did all the research, it was a 3 to 5% increase in horror matchmaking balance, or adding bots. But it's something we can handle on weekends, no problem, I think.
I'm so happy. Guys, spread the word. Is this something that so this we'll expect this in the near future, and it's something that would it be on all weekends going forward?
I don't think all, because we have different things running on different weekends. So I think it'd be mixed and things that it's not really compatible with some other things that we do.
Yeah.
But
so it'd be something that we could see a lot more over weekends. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So Darth Baker, good question there. You got a good response there on it. So we're going to see. We'll see some more news on +1 -1 over the weekends in the near future. Very cool.
Trying to look up something. Someone asked when more independent tank lines are going to be added.
I saw that one as well. Yeah.
Don't know off the top of my head. I'm not sure that that's this year, actually. I'll find out and get back to you. Ask the question again next week.
Okay.
Too many tanks in my brain.
It's too many tanks in the bank. All right. And that's everything I've got for you guys today. On Monday, we're scheduled to go and play some of these US lights. Hopefully, you won't have any issues playing them this time around. I know when we tried to do the gameplay last week of the Italian Heavies, we weren't able to actually do the gameplay because it was really lagging really badly. So I'll hit Tank Zars up on that one and see if we can help. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for coming along. Any additional questions, you can either save them for Monday for me to answer, or you can message me them on Discord. Thank you very much, Tank Zars and PAINGOD. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Do you have any final parting words for the community?
Just great to see so many people playing this week and enjoying all the content that the team worked really hard to get out there. And really excited about seeing the Cold War, the Western Alliance flights coming out next week as well. Yeah, it's a busy summer. We have something in store for you every single week.
Very cool. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye-bye.